Amber Heard took the witness stand in her own defense today, fighting the defamation lawsuit filed by ex-husband Johnny Depp in a Fairfax, Virginia courtroom. She talked about incidents of alleged domestic violence, sometimes in graphic detail. Incidents she says began after she made a comment about one of his tattoos. Senior correspondent Laura Engel has the details from day 14 of this trial. Good evening, Laura.
Shannon, after 4 weeks of witness testimony, including Johnny Depp, Amber Heard took the stand on Wednesday, giving graphic details at times about her whirlwind romance, which she says quickly turned into a cycle of abuse. Heard defended herself in the defamation lawsuit filed by her ex-husband Johnny Depp, who has accused her of falsely alleging he abused her. Heard told the jury about the first time Johnny Depp allegedly struck her. The incident happening after she says she made a comment about an old tattoo on his arm.
I didn't know what to do. You would think you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that. I'm an adult, and I'm sitting next to the man I love, and he slapped me for no reason. And I'm all of a sudden realizing that the worst thing has just happened to me that could possibly happen to you.
Heard also testified that she knew she should leave Depp, but couldn't follow through.
He seemed so sorry, but I knew I couldn't just forgive him because right? That means it will happen again, no? You know, like I've seen the health class videos, like everyone else.
The jury listened to allegations of sexual abuse by Depp that Heard said happened at a trailer park resort during what she characterized as a drug-fueled rage.
I kind of froze. I don't know how we went to bed that night. I don't know how I went to bed. I don't know how I slept.
Depp is suing Heard for $50 million in damages over a 2018 essay she wrote for the Washington Post, in which she said she had become the public figure representing domestic abuse. And Heard is countersuing Depp for $100 million in damages. She is expected to take the stand Thursday. Shannon?
All right, Laura, thank you very much for some expert legal analysis now of Amber Heard's explosive testimony Wednesday. Let's bring in the host of Nothing But the Truth podcast, criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Great to have you with us, Bob.
Great to be here, Shannon.
Okay, I want to play a little something else here. This is her today. She talks about being torn over her feelings with him, for him, and feeling like she was in an abusive place, her relationship with Depp. Here's what she said on that front today.
I was so torn. I was so in love with this person because when it was good, it was so good. You've never felt love like that. When I was around Johnny, I felt like the most beautiful person in the whole world.
Bob, I gotta say, that felt very rehearsed to me, which any witness can do before they get on the stand. You want to be sure about your testimony and you go over things, but it didn't ring true to me. I'm not a juror. What about you?
Shannon, the thing that was interesting to me about this is that you have to take her testimony in the context of two very important pieces of evidence that Johnny Depp brought out. And the first is that audio recording that Amber Heard was illegally in their state recording of Johnny Depp, wherein she's saying to him, oh, you always want to walk away. I didn't hit you. I didn't deck you. You're calling it a punch. And she's talking about domestic violence and basically making fun of him because not only she on that tape, but other witnesses said he would just withdraw and walk away. So that tape did not have a good look for her, especially when you're claiming things happened to you where you're being smacked down, where you're being sexually violated, where he was probing her for what he believed was cocaine in her private parts. So none of it would seem to make sense from a common sense standpoint that she would be abusing and laughing at him because when they got into an argument, he wanted to walk away from that argument. Couple that with the psychiatric testimony of Dr. Shannon Curry that was brought out because Amber Heard put mental health as part of her claim of damages. And literally, I couldn't help but think that when Amber was testifying, and look, the jury's going to assess the credibility here, but the manner in which she was testifying ticked off exactly what the Johnny Depp's doctors said amounted to histrionic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. I want to make a caveat. the fact that you have those illnesses does not mean that you are a domestic abuser. But she talked about over-magnification of symptoms, where they have a lot of flowery language but no substance to it, where they need to be the center of attention. And I couldn't help but think, by looking at it, that the jurors were sitting there saying, listening to her testify, wow, that's exactly the manner in which Dr. Curry, who did independent testing of her, called an MMPI, we know this in the psychiatric world, where not only did it say that she was not suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, what was also damning was those independent tests, it's not a subjective evaluation, found that she was highly malingering, or in other words, lying and being deceptive during the taking of those tests.
Bob, let me quickly ask you about this. We all want to give reverence. We want to give respect to somebody who is alleging domestic violence or abuse, male or female, you know, because we don't think people would make those allegations spuriously. So how do we balance that with wanting to have compassion for somebody and trying to get to the truth in this case or any case? If you can give us a quick comment.
Yeah, we did this as prosecutors all the time. I mean, the reality was that we knew that there were people who definitely needed protection of prosecutors and that are seriously being domestically abused. But we also knew there was a significant proportion of individuals that either exaggerated or used that system in order to gain an otherwise collateral advantage in a matrimonial action or for publicity and things of that nature. All I would lastly just say, Shannon, is that if you look on the devices, for people that I know that are in the game as far as legal analysis and journalists, the overwhelming sense of public opinion, that's certainly not the court, but if I was a lawyer, I would be looking at this to say, what are they thinking about what they're seeing? And it is overwhelmingly in favor of Johnny Depp and in disbelief of her testimony. And that would unnerve me if I were Amber Heard's lawyers, because those very same people could be the jurors in the jury box.
Yeah, and only those jurors are hearing every second of this, and we hope that they will get to the truth, whatever it is, so that these people can move on with their lives in some way, if possible. Bob, thank you always for your analysis.
My pleasure, Shannon. Thank you.
All right, coming up, many of the